Good morning. Yes, let's all please hit the like button and warm Judy up. I cannot imagine. I lived in Florida all my life. I can't imagine living somewhere where it's that cold. No way. I'm freezing right now and it's like 49 degrees outside. I'm freezing. Freezing. Frozen. I'm layered in clothing because I'm so cold. Okay, so we are on day 3 of the Tennessee v. Jason Chen murder trial. And I realized I did not do a recap yesterday morning for people that may not have seen the first day. So I'm going to do a recap of the trial so far. Jason Chen, well, let me go back. Jasmine Pace, the last time her mother saw her was on November 22nd of 2022. She told her mom she was going to her friend's house and she was not seen again. She got a pin on her phone of a location in the middle of the night after her parents had already started looking for her, I believe. But they they didn't notice the pin in that until after they'd started looking for her. But they used the My Chevy app to find her car. So they went to that location and they found her abandoned car. They called the police. They knew that she was dating Jason Chen, but they had not met him yet. So they went through numbers in her phone. They found his number. They called him. They put it on speakerphone so the cop could listen as well. The one that they called to the scene. The car was abandoned at a condominium, single view condominiums on Mountain View. Was it Mountain View Road? And Mountain Creek Road. And a cop came out there and they had Jason on the speakerphone and he blatantly lied because the mom knew when he had last spoken to her and he lied and gave a different date. And so the cop took a report, said that he would give that report to missing persons and they would get back with them. So when the parents left the condominiums, they went to Jason Chen's apartment building and they knocked on the doors and showed her picture around and asked if anyone had seen her. And one of the neighbors had heard loud noises coming from the apartment in the middle of the night. So, what her mom did, which I don't advise anybody to do if you I don't have biological children, so I don't know what I would do in this situation, but she took her credit card and her I don't know if it was her husband or her ex-husband who was Jasmine's dad used that credit card to break into his apartment. And when they found her stuff in there and signs of struggle and no sign of either one of them, Jasmine or Jason, they called the police. And they told the police that they just like knocked and knocked like hard and the door popped open and that they were concerned because no one was there and the door was unlocked, so they went in. So cops showed up and looked around and said they would write a report and they would get back to them, yada yada, just like the first one did. So they left, cops left, they waited for the cops to leave, and then they went back in the apartment and they took some things out of the apartment that belonged to Jasmine and also some things that belonged to Jason that they thought might have some evidence on it. The lead detective on the case, he was on the stand for 2 days. He was pretty much all of day 2. And from him, we found out that Jason took this is about where Law and Crimes Channel glitched out. So Judy might have to help me with this part because I think she got to see part of it that I didn't see on somebody else's channel. He took the suitcase that he put her in and he drove that in his car and then came back and got her car and left it at the Single View condominiums, and then he Ubered back to his apartment. Is that right, Judy? Because I was like, wait. Like this was like an earworm in my brain. It was how did he get back? If he abandoned her car, how did he get back? I was like, there was like a plot hole. I was like, I'm focused in on that plot hole. How did he get back? So he Ubered back from abandoning her car. And they found the suitcase that she was disposed of in on December 1st. And they had pinged his cell phone on Suck Creek Road. What a name for a road. Suck Creek Road, which goes along. So far, I am correct. Good. It's a lot of information to try to remember right off the top of my head. Like I have notes, but they're chicken scratch because I'm writing so fast. So the road has it. Well, yeah, this is true. This is true. They have little like pullouts. The road is like parallel with the Tennessee River, and there's little pullouts. I don't know if they're like for scenic. Oh, brainworm. Okay, thank you. I knew that wasn't right when I said it. Oh no. Brainworm. Okay. So they stopped at like the first little pullout, and like because it would have to be someplace that a car could pull over in order to dump something. And the first pullout that they stopped at, they saw something suspicious, and it was a suitcase. And the investigator that had gloves on, this was not Zach Crawford, who was on the stand for 2 days. This was Detective Bulkley, and he had gloves on. So he pulled the suitcase up and opened it, and there was a trash bag, and he had gloves on, so he felt the trash bag, and it felt like a body. So the pictures yesterday was just her in a trash bag. So it wasn't gory or anything, but you could make out. The pictures today are going to be autopsy pictures. The judge has instructed them not to show the pictures, but my finger will be over the mouse to take them down if they accidentally get shown. So I think that's everything. Oh, the picture. They showed a picture of him at Starbucks. Yeah, it was clearly a body. And I tried to take it down as fast as it went up, but StreamYard was not being StreamYard. And I don't know, because a lot of times StreamYard, I'll be trying to do something on StreamYard and it'll say wait, page unresponsive, wait. and then I'll look over here to see what it looks like on my YouTube channel, and it'll be doing what I'm trying to get it to do. But then StreamYard tells me it's not doing it and the page is unresponsive. So I can't tell sometimes if it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I don't know how fast I got the picture down. So I don't know if you guys saw anything, but you could tell that there was a body in a bag. And Jason's fingerprints she was wrapped in 2 bags. His fingerprints was on the innermost bag. So it wasn't like, he couldn't have said, "Oh, I just found that and touched it." You know what I mean? Like, it was on the innermost bag. And he was sending texts to her phone to make it look like he didn't know she was deceased. So there was one text where he had sent her a picture from Starbucks and said, "Oh, I slept like a baby. I'm making myself a matcha." But the metadata on that picture was from July of the year before. So what he did was take an old picture, send it to her phone with a new text to make it look like he was at Starbucks that morning. Oh, it was down real quick? Good. Because I didn't want to show that because that's also, when you have claustrophobia, things like that are really bothersome because you just imagine what that would feel like. Even though, I know she's gone, but still, it's disturbing. So let me see if there's anything else that I left out. I don't think so. I think that's it, pretty much, for the most part. Oh, his downstairs neighbor testified, but that was just because he had ring footage of his door is right next, like his apartment's here and the front door to the complex is here. So, and he has a ring camera. And those ring cameras notify you every time there's motion. That would be miserable living there with a ring camera. Like, they would be, every time someone's in and out of the front door of the apartment building, it would be notifying you that there was motion. Oh, the creepy picture wall. I forgot about the creepy picture wall. They have yet to expound on this creepy picture wall. They've not said anything about how creepy this picture wall is. It's like a serial killer wall. I swear. I want an explanation. I have a feeling we're not going to get it though. But I want an explanation on the creepy picture wall. I like shiver every time they show it. It's like, what is the purpose of the creepy picture wall? Hopefully, law and crime will not, whatever happened to them yesterday won't happen today. I don't know what happened.
Some photos, perhaps, of the victim, whether it's autopsy or coming out from where she's found. The court again recognizes the importance of being in court. One of the things that makes us need to abide by the court's rulings when needed. There is one today. You cannot put live stream on any of the graphic photos of the victim. Okay? The family has a right to dignity as possible, and the court feels that that is something that's a reasonable request. You can focus in on the witness's face only. If you can't do that, you can do audio, but you need to make every effort to ensure that no graphic photos of the victim are broadcast. Everybody understand? Understand?
Yes, we had already decided we were not going to.
Okay. Thank you very much. The family appreciates it. Chen is in the courtroom. Any matters discussed before we resume the jury trial? Either side.
The way I look at that is if I'm not doing anything wrong, it doesn't make a difference.
Please be seated. Good morning, jurors. Anybody work out yesterday? Nobody? Okay. Too exhausted? Sometimes when you're exhausted, it's a great time to work out. Hope everyone slept well. First thing I have to ask, everyone able to abide by the court's admonition not to discuss the case, not to expose the media, record everyone on the head. Before we presume there's one matter we need to bring up with you. Yesterday we heard testimony from one of the witnesses about the defendant, about the asparagus, taking produce from one of the stores, and while he typed to me the backwards, he said he was purchasing asparagus, but he did not purchase any asparagus. That's technically a crime. Shoplifting was only admitted because it was relevant to this case. In fact, that keying in asparagus instead of some of the things that he was actually purchasing is the reason that it was admitted. It's really important. One of the aspects of a fair jury trial is that other crimes don't get admitted unless it's relevant some way. One item was keyed in when that was not actually taken. This was the non-propensity reason that goes to him buying cleaning supplies to clean up. Our next one.
Michelle Johnson.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. Would you please state your name and spell your last for the record? Michelle Johnson, Johnson.
What's your profession? What do you do for a living?
I'm a crime scene investigator with the Chattanooga Police Department.
How long have you worked as a crime scene investigator for the Chattanooga Police Department?
Approximately 7.5 years.
Did you have any experience in law enforcement prior to becoming a crime scene investigator?
I also worked 16 years in corrections.
Have you received any kind of specialized training that assists you in the performance of your duties as a crime scene investigator?
Yes, I have.
What is that?
Crime scene investigator, we go through 6 months of on-the-job training with a senior crime scene investigator. Hundreds of hours of specialized training, including 400 hours for attending and graduating from the National Forensic Academy. It's a 10-week intense training for crime scene investigators.
Day to day, what does a crime scene investigator do for the police department?
We respond to normally major case crimes and process the scenes.
I'd like to take you back, if I could, to November the 22nd of 2022. Do you recall the events that took place on that day?
Yes,
Were you working as a crime scene investigator on the 27th of November?
yes,
On that day, did you have an opportunity to assist with a, collection of evidence?
correct.
Do you recall what location you first went to on the 27th?
I was notified around 10 p.m. by Detective Crawford, and he requested that I respond to 5977 Old Dayton Pike.
And do you know the significance of that location?
He had informed me that he was working a missing person case, and he asked me to respond to this location with evidence that had been taken from Jason Chen's apartment.
Do you recall specifically what evidence you collected?
I collected electronic devices. I believe there was some clothing, some notebooks, Jasmine Pace's ID, along with several credit cards belonging to her.
Ma'am, I'm showing you what's been admitted into evidence as Exhibit 12. Are you familiar with this photograph?
Yes, that's the photograph I took. That's the in the manner in which I received the items.
And when you say the items, are those the items that you just described to the jury, the clothing, the notebooks, the electronic devices?
Yes, sir.
I'm now showing you what is been admitted into evidence as Exhibit 11. Can you describe what we're seeing in this photo?
Phone, camera, and a tablet or laptop.
Thank you. Ma'am, I'm handing you what's been marked for identification purposes as exhibit number 139. Could you take a moment to familiarize yourself with this?
Okay.
You recognize?
Yes.
At the location and then further photograph it once you take it back to the police department.
Correct. Yes.
Specifically, ma'am, does that photograph fairly and accurately depict the IDs that you collected from the Jasmine, Jasmine's residence?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been admitted into evidence as Exhibit 10. You see the items in the lower left-hand corner of Exhibit 10? Photograph. Thank you. Ma'am, I'm now going to show you. Okay, I have the document here. Ma'am, did you have an opportunity to compare the names on the various credit cards and license? Are they all the same person, Ms. Japanese?
Guys, look away. I can't get it off the screen. Oh, it's gone now. I don't need it. I don't need it now.
Room and bathroom.
Ma'am, I'm showing you what has been admitted into evidence as Exhibit 17 to this trial. Ma'am, is that location located inside what we see here in Exhibit 14?
Yes, that's correct.
Including the electronic devices, Jasmine Pace's credit cards, her driver's license. What did you do with those items?
I secured them inside my crime scene vehicle.
After you secure them in your crime scene vehicle, what do you do with them? What's the next step?
Normally if I go back to the crime scene office, I would package and seal them and secure them possibly in the evidence vault and eventually turn them into our property and evidence division.
You mentioned the evidence vault. Is that different than the property and evidence division?
Correct, it does keep evidence that we are still packaging or processing.
How do you prepare a document for submission to a particular, to the property?
First thing we do is an evidence report for all the items we collect. Then we have to complete a property sheet.
They have the lights turned off so they can see the pictures better.
Complete labels to identify the evidence inside the bags, and we place those labels on the outside of the paper bags or cardboard boxes sometimes.
Why would you use one over the other?
Just for size. Something's really large, you may have to use a ball.
And who does all of the packaging, the preparation of the property report, so on and so forth?
The evidence, I would have packaged this stuff.
At her residence on Old Dayton Pike, did you go through that process?
Yes.
Now, ma'am, the items that you collected from the Pace residence, are they assigned a number before they're submitted to the property?
Correct, once they're added to our evidence report, they are assigned a number.
Specifically, the items that you collected, the notebooks, the Exhibit 10, the credit cards, the keys, the clothing, what numbers did you assign for this collection of evidence?
Without looking at the evidence report, I believe it started with 7. Our primary location, we use evidence markers, which are numbered markers, placards, yellow placards. And we begin marking our evidence with number 1. And so when that number has to correspond with our evidence report and with the item number on the property sheet. So in other words, the items we mark as evidence markers will be listed first.
Okay. So the bottom line is,
Okay.
did you in fact go to another location?
Yes, I did.
What other location did you go to?
Detective Crawford requested that I respond to 110 Tremont Street, apartment 210.
When did you go to that location at Crawford's request?
I arrived there right around midnight.
What time did you arrive at the Dayton Pike location?
Not for certain. I think it was probably around 10:30.
During the, between the time that you arrived at 10:30 and then when you got to Tremont Street very late in the evening, what were you doing? What were your activities?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What were you doing in between when you arrived at Dayton Pike and when you eventually arrived at Tremont Street?
I was taking photos of Dayton Pike and collecting those items that Detective Crawford had requested that I collect.
Thank you. When you arrive at a crime scene such as 110 Tremont Street to conduct a search, is that typically incident to a search warrant?
Correct.
When you arrived at 110 Tremont Street, was there already a search warrant there?
I believe Detective Crawford had notified me via phone that he had signed the search warrant. I'm not sure if it was physically there yet or not.
So after the warrant is obtained, is that when the search begins?
Yes.
Specifically, ma'am, do you recall the location that you searched at 110 Tremont Street?
As far as the apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, apartment 210.
Looked like?
There's a small apartment, kind of a shotgun style, where pretty much one way in, one way out. Entering into the living room area, Then there was a kitchen, a laundry area, and then a bathroom, and then the bedroom.
The investigator go through to search a location such as the one that you just described?
The first thing we would do is an initial walkthrough, and during the initial walkthrough, we'll look for any evidence in plain sight. During this time, we don't disturb anything. And we also formulate a,
I thought shotgun style meant you can go through the front door all the way through to a back door. I didn't think it meant one way in, one way out. But twice now they've described it as a shotgun apartment. I'm gonna have to look that up.
plan of action as far as processing the scene, and just get an idea of the layout of the crime.
Would you describe the initial walkthrough as an actual search for evidence?
Anytime we walk through a crime scene, we are continuously searching, but during the initial walkthrough, inside of anything, we don't disturb anything during the initial walkthrough, but we do search.
As you begin to process the scene, do crime scene investigators produce any kind of documentation that helps them remember where items are collected?
Yes, we take written notes, and we also do a scene sketch marking the location of where items are recovered from.
What was your specific role with 110 Tremont Street?
My role was to document the scene with digital photographs.
Crime scene investigator at that location. Are you familiar with this document?
Yes,
What is Exhibit 140?
investigator Sarah Brown created based on her sketches of the crime scene.
As the lead crime scene investigator, were you aware that she was
It's a
producing that?
dwelling with rooms that are like in a straight line. Yeah, like looks like it's a narrow, no hallway style of living space. Yeah. But it did say that it has a door in the front and a door in the back. But I guess an apartment wouldn't have the door in the back. So I guess technically it is still a shotgun because it's just like a straight, like it's a living room, and then you walk into the kitchen, and then you walk into the bathroom, and then you walk into the bedroom, or however it's laid out. It's just, there's not a hall. It's just you walk room to room to room to room to room.
Sketch.
Yes,
Have you had an opportunity to review that sketch?
yes,
Is it the sketch? Does it fairly show the general location and proximity to various other items that were collected from 110 Tremont Street?
yes.
Does it assist in explaining where in the apartment things were located? Jim,
That's correct.
you are out of move to make this necessary.
Exhibit 140.
All right. I publish the jury. Yes, sir. All right. Can you see the television? Barely?
Yes,
Okay. I know it's not the clearest. You know how to use cell phones, et cetera. You can pinch and Could you please orient the jury what we're looking at specifically in Exhibit 140 that they can see on the television?
Okay, at the bottom of the page is the entrance to the apartment.
And how do you denote that on the sketch?
So there's a door opening right here.
Okay, when you say right here, what does it look like? Is it
Kind of like a triangle shape along the bottom.
would you agree, ma'am, that it's the vertical line with the arc
Yes,
heading towards the left of the screen?
yes,
And that leads into the living room?
correct.
Moving now back towards the top portion of Exhibit 141, where are we getting into now?
Once you go through the living room, there's a peninsula for the kitchen. It contains the kitchen sink. And then to the right, there's a washer and dryer closet.
And behind that, or I guess further into the apartment?
That's when you enter into the bathroom. To the right is the shower, and to the left was the toilet and the sink.
And finally, towards the very top.
That is the bedroom.
Thank you. Did you document your initial walkthrough of the residence that we see in the crime scene sketch on the screen?
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm showing you what's been admitted into evidence as Exhibit 9. Who took this photograph?
I did.
And what does it generally depict?
It's a
It
door.
shows the entrance of the apartment.
During your initial walkthrough, specifically immediately after this photograph was taken, did you have an opportunity to examine the door frame?
Yes, that's one thing we routinely do is check to see if there's any signs of forced entry.
I'm showing the jury Exhibit 36, ma'am. What types of things would you look for signs of forced entry on the door frame?
We would look for scratches or damage to the framing of the door.
Did you agree, ma'am, that there's some scratching on this door frame?
Yes,
Did you find signs of forced entry on this door?
yes, and it's also hard to determine when those would have occurred.
Sure. Were there large dents or gouges into the door frame?
No, not that I recall. No.
Going to the actual locking mechanism of the door, Exhibit 37, did you see signs of damage to the door indicative of forced entry?
No.
Is there a method or a process that you as a crime scene investigator go through to document and process a scene?
Yes.
How do you do that?
As far as documenting with digital photographs, we'll take overall photographs of the scene. And then we'll take closer up photographs of the scene, and if items of evidence are discovered, then we'll take close-up photographs.
Do you work your way through the residence in any particular manner?
Normally we have a pattern that we'll follow. Different investigators use different patterns. In this case, it being such a small area, there was pretty much just one way to navigate through the apartment.
Okay. Do you recall what pattern or method you used to walk through the apartment?
We just started at the entrance, and like I said, it was pretty much like a shotgun apartment, and walked to the back. And from there, we were able to see, all areas of the apartment.
What items were you looking for? What kind of evidence were you looking to collect?
At the time, it was a missing person case. We were looking for, any items of evidence that really didn't belong in the apartment, anything out of place, or anything that could have indicated that there could have been a crime committed there.
During your initial walkthrough, did anything catch your eye?
Couch.
I'm showing Exhibit 38. Could you please explain that to the jury?
Yes, I think normally people have the coffee table pretty much centered with the couch, parallel, and it was just off angle.
What else?
Then we walked behind the couch, and I observed what I believe to be suspected blood on the floor.
Ma'am, I'm showing you Exhibit 43. And is this the location that you're describing behind the couch?
Yes.
Okay. I'm also now showing you Exhibit 80. Do you see any of the suspected blood in this photograph?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, you point it out. There's a place to point right there for you.
I believe there's some up in this area right here.
Okay. I'm now showing you Exhibit 81 and now Exhibit 82.
Yes, this area right here.
What surfaces was the blood on that you observed?
It was on the floor. It was also on some of the walls. The bathroom tile, bathroom light switch. Where there's at least two areas in the bedroom. This is
Ma'am, I'm now showing you Exhibit 59. Can you point out the suspected blood in this photograph?
right here in the sprout line, as well as in this carpet area right here.
Now I'm now showing you what's been integrated into evidence as Exhibit 67. Do you see any suspected blood in this photograph?
This area right here that caught my attention.
Exhibit 68, is that a close-up of the preceding photograph?
Yes,
Thank you. And in what rooms was the suspected blood located?
living room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, all the rooms.
Every room?
Yes.
Excuse me. No, every room. Ma'am, I'm handing you this pre-marked right now. Sign on 141. Recognize this.
sample, that was cut from the bedroom floor.
Thank you. Did you collect that item?
Yes,
Where did you collect it from?
Jason Chen's bedroom.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, I would move to admit into evidence item 141. I'd like to take, can I have the document projector, Your Honor? Yes, sir. Now, ma'am, now placing on the document projector that's been admitted into evidence as Exhibit 141. You described earlier a paper bag, and we can all see the paper bag. What's the significance of the red item that's stapled to the top of this red bag?
As a property tag, property and evidence department would apply that to the bag.
Okay. What is the significance of item number that we see here?
It just corresponds with the item number that's on the bag.
And does that correspond with the item number as it's introduced into property?
Yes,
When we see a description here, what's that?
it's just a brief description of what is in the bag.
So that you know what's inside the brown paper bag?
Yes.
Now we see some white tape. What does that tell the jury?
The package was sealed.
Does it mean that it potentially was opened at some point for examination?
It could have been, but they would have had to cut the seal and then reseal it.
And we see a kind of scribble there with a Sharpie towards the center. What's that?
That's my initials.
Does that mean that, what does that mean? Placing your initials on the seal and the bag itself
That means that I sealed that bag.
after it was opened at some point?
Yes.
What's the significance of white?
That is a crime scene investigator evidence label. We apply it to all items of evidence to give a brief description of what the item is, where the item was collected, and when it was collected.
Who prepares that white label?
The crime scene investigator would.
So in this case, it says Investigator M. Johnson. That means you prepared this label.
More than likely. Sometimes when we get back to the office, other people will assist in typing up your labels.
The location of recovery, okay? If the jury were to want to, there's a lot of evidence already in evidence in this case. If they were wanting to examine a particular item of evidence and place it in a particular location, can they get the location? These are a lot of items of evidence, okay, which they'll be allowed to take back.
Okay.
If they were wanting to look for a particular item of evidence that was found in a particular location, could they do that by looking at the recovery location?
Yes.
Okay. And in this case, it says bathroom, bedroom, transition, southeast of shower. What is that?
That was the location given to it by me and on the evidence report. And then we will transfer that information to the evidence label.
Okay. And ma'am, you indicated that item inventory number 6 is on this label. It's also on the red card that was stapled to the other side. Could you show the jury where on the crime scene sketch that would be located?
Yes, it's right there in the doorway between the bathroom and the bedroom.
Okay, now going into our television here, where would that be?
At the upper part right there. Will this laser reach up there?
It doesn't really reflect,
No.
it reflects still. Would it be right
Yes.
there where it says number 6?
Correct.
Okay. So for all the items that were collected from Jason Chen's apartment, if they wanted to find something from a particular spot, they could start by looking at the crime scene diagram,
Correct.
identifying the item number,
Yes.
and then comparing that number 6 with the number 6 that we see right there.
Correct.
Thank you. Ma'am, I'm handing you what's been marked for identification as item 142. You recognize this item?
Yes.
What is that item, ma'am?
It is a carpet sample with suspected blood, taken from Jason Chen's bedroom.
Specifically, what item number is that?
Item number 9.
We have, so using the crime scene sketch, where is item 9?
It'll be above and to the right of number 6.
So above to the right?
Yes.
Okay, so right here next to the rectangle.
Great.
Draw your attention now to exhibit 68. Is there any correlation between inventory item 9, what's been marked for identification 142, and the bloody spot that you identified in exhibit 68?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Is there any correlation between this physical item and what we see on the screen in
Yes.
exhibit 68?
It's that area right there where the suspected blood was.
Did you remove that area of carpet?
Yes, it was cut out.
Is what you've identified as 142 the area of carpet that you removed from that location in exhibit 68?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move to admit item 142 in evidence.
So then,
This is always
And I'm
boring
handing
work,
you now
but it has to be done.
what's been marked for identification as item 143. You recognize that?
Yes,
What is item 143 now?
it's a blue and red plaid shirt,
Where was that?
button down,
Where was that item recovered from?
bedroom closet.
They took a shirt from the bedroom closet.
All right, move to admit item 143. All right, ma'am. As part of your initial walkthrough, there's a ton of photographs taken. You take another set of photographs?
We also take photographs throughout the processing of the scene, and we also take photographs just prior to exiting the scene.
So there are multiple sets of photographs taken.
Yes.
When we say processing the scene, does that mean,
Searching.
okay, do you do anything else during the processing?
We'll test areas of suspected blood. We may use other processes like blue star to identify areas that are not visible to the naked eye.
And I'm handing you what's going to be marked as
Oh.
exhibit
Good point.
144.
Could be.
A collective exhibit, specifically pages 1 to 9. You take a moment to familiarize yourself with those.
Because I seriously doubt he hung up a bloody shirt. Unless he thought that would hide it.
those photographs generally?
These are photographs,
Specifically, which,
living room, kitchen area.
so the front portion of the apartment?
Yes,
So we're now focusing on the area that's shown on the screen on the television right now.
yes,
Are these photographs that you took when you conducted the search warrant?
yes.
Your Honor, I would move to admit into evidence exhibit 144, collective 1 to 9.
Permitted.
Thank you. Not published.
Yes, sir.
Oops, sorry. On the crime scene diagram, item 1 is indicated with a circle and an arrow. What does that mean?
That's the location it was located, and the arrow probably indicates it was under the couch.
Okay. Can we see exhibit 1 in this photograph? Second page of the collective exhibit. What are we looking at here now?
It says item number 1, scrub brush.
And why would that be important for a potential item of evidence that you would deem worthy of marking with an evidence marker?
After seeing the suspected blood throughout the apartment, it was probably believed that there was a strong possibility that there was some cleaning up done, based on the amount of cleaning materials and the items that were there.
Now showing you third page of the collective exhibit. What are we looking at in this photograph?
This is, suspected blood right here, it's item number 2.
Zoom in so the jury can see that. Would you mind pointing it out to the jury? And where is this adjacent to? Where is this in the crime scene?
It's behind the couch.
Okay, we're now looking at a close-up
I don't see any blood.
of that second evidence marker.
Yes.
Fifth page, what are we looking at here?
It's an overall photograph, from item 4 to item 6. With item 3, under the kitchen sink.
Okay, so under the kitchen sink is item number 3. What is item number 3?
I believe 33 gallons.
Are those what we would describe as kitchen-sized garbage bags, ma'am?
Not really, no. The kitchen does not appear to be 33 gallons.
So it's smaller, so it's a mismatch.
Yes,
And my handy was been marked for identification. What is this?
and a box of black trash bags.
Is that the box of white trash bags that we see collected from item marker 3 on the screen?
Yes, the hefty trash bags, yes.
Your Honor, I move to admit into evidence exhibit 145.
So moved.
Ma'am, what color were the tabs for these garbage bags?
Blue.
Can you point that out to the jury?
Yeah. That's the full tab right there. It's also indicated on the outside of the box.
The 8th page of the collective exhibit. What is located in item 4?
It's another suspected blood stain.
Zooming in, exhibit, or the 9th page of the collective exhibit. You point that out to the jury?
It's this area up here.
Now, Did you collect the actual floor like you did with the piece of carpet that was admitted into evidence as Exhibit 143?
No.
You didn't pull up the floorboards? A stain.
Crawford said bathroom was where, but there was an objection because he wasn't an expert witness, that was his opinion and he couldn't give it because he wasn't an expert. But I think that objection should have been overruled because he's a homicide detective. So the jury was told to disregard that as his opinion, that it was done in the bathroom. But I think he probably knows what he's talking about. So I would say bathroom.
Like that on surface.
We would collect what we call a suspected blood swab.
How does one collect a suspected blood swab?
Using sterile cotton swabs. We had distilled water in one of them. One is wet, one is dry. Then we will swipe over the suspected area. And then we'll place that in a sterile cardboard box. And then we'll place that inside the brown paper bag.
Is that the process that you learned through your training?
Yes.
Is that the process that you've used throughout your career as a crime scene investigator?
Yes.
You know, I kind of wonder what would have happened if they hadn't broken in. Because her mom testified that one of the investigators told her to quit calling. And that was after they had evidence and stuff. So, wonder what would have happened if they hadn't broken in. Would the cops have just been like, yeah, we're looking for her, quit calling us, you know?
Hand you what's been marked for identification as number 146, specifically 1 to 8. Would you mind familiarizing yourself with those?
Okay.
What do they show, ma'am?
These are the photos I took, photos of items of evidence in the bathroom.
So using the crime scene diagram, we'll be talking about this general. Are they fairly inaccurate when you observe with your own eyes?
Yes.
Would admit into evidence like Exhibit 1. Then could you please describe to the jury what we're looking at?
Again, it's an overall photo of items marked for evidence in the bathroom. Item 5 probably was a blood swab. 6 was a cutout of the carpet with blood. 7 was some Officer Brink Underwood.
Specifically, item 5, did you collect a sample of the reddish substance that we see immediately to the right and below Exhibit 5?
Right.
Using the process with that sterile swab that you described earlier?
Yes.
Now, what about item 6 that we see in the third the collected exhibit? How did you process that particular item?
I actually cut out the section of carpet and looked underneath and was sure that blood had saturated through the carpet and padding and so forth.
And so the record is clear, the process that you just described resulted in item 6, which is exhibit 141 to the trial.
Yes.
Thank you. You described that there was a substance that went through from one side to the other. I'm now showing you page 4 of the collected exhibit. Did you point that out to the jury?
Yes, right here.
Thanks, ma'am. Did you collect the clothing article that we see in exhibit 7, or I'm sorry, item 7 on page 5 of the collected exhibit?
Yes.
Okay. So you collected those.
Yes.
What's the significance of number 8 now? It appears to be in the shower.
Yes, that's the shower drain. It had visible hair and we collected it for possible forensic evidence.
I'm now showing you the 8th page of that collected exhibit. It's close up. So you collected that hair?
Yes, and the drain.
Oh, so you took the actual metallic drain that we see, the circular object in it.
Yes, the drain cover, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. After you processed the bathroom, where did you go next?
To the bedroom.
Handy has been marked for identification as 174, specifically pages 1 to 6. Would you mind familiarizing yourself with that?
Okay.
What do they show?
Overall photographs of items marked for evidence in the bedroom.
Do they fairly and accurately show what you collected at the crime scene?
Yes.
All right, so we have here exhibit 9, or evidence marker 9, evidence marker 10. Evidence marker 9,
He admitted he did it. How is that not guilty? I understand your statement, but he admitted that he did it. Now, if he is saying he didn't do it, then I can understand. Yeah, well, her parents framed me. Sure, I can understand. They broke in, they staged the scene, whatever, but he admitted that he did it. He should have, if he really did it in self-defense, he should have tried for self-defense grounds instead of, what is he trying to do? Diminish capacity or voluntary manslaughter? Or, yeah, that's true too. Because look at Richard Allen. Is that his name? From the Delphi case. I don't. I don't know because of course we didn't get to see that trial. But they put him in solitary confinement for 13 months, and he went crazy and said he did things that didn't even happen. So
Is that carpet piece that we have here. What is item 10?
It's a button with a small piece of material attached to it.
No. Show you the second page of the collective exhibit, third page. I'm sorry, the fourth page of the collective exhibit. Why would you mark that as a possible item of evidence? And did you in fact collect that?
Yes, I did collect it. It was definitely out of place. The button possibly could have been torn from the shirt, since the material was still attached to it.
To your knowledge, did you ever find an article of clothing that was connected to that button?
No.
finally see the knife. I couldn't see the knife before. They kept saying there's a knife in this picture, and I couldn't see it because it's a teeny tiny knife. I don't know. I don't know. You guys, anytime a comet gets stuck, just brace yourself because it's gonna crash. So that's what's been happening. What is it with the law and crime cameraman and hands? Ooh, I like the way she dresses. Her skirt or a leather dress?
Henry has been marked for identification purposes as item 148. You recognize this item?
Yes.
What is that item?
It's a gray knife, directly from the bed.
Okay. That we can see there towards the center of the photograph on the screen in page 5.
Yes.
Runner, I move to admit into evidence the knife shown in exhibit, I'm sorry, next to evidence marker 11 in collective exhibit 5.
Exhibit 148.
Thank you, Mary.
Do they have the actual knife that they're gonna show?
I'd like to ask you about the orientation of the bed in this photograph. What wall is that bed up against?
I believe it's the north wall.
What you would describe as the north wall?
Yes, north wall of bedroom.
Okay. Zooming out on the crime scene sketch, there's an N with an arrow pointing down. You see that?
Correct.
What's the significance of the N with the arrow?
Showing the direction of north.
So, I'm sorry, I can't scroll from the television. So going to the bedroom, the north wall would be where on the crime scene sketch?
It would be the lower wall of the bedroom.
The wall separating the bedroom from the bathroom?
Correct.
Now, when you conducted your initial walkthrough and your search, did you know prior to your search the normal orientation of the furniture in this bedroom?
No.
I'm now showing you what's been embedded into evidence as Exhibit 73. Do you see the green tapestry on the wall?
Yes.
Do you see the markings on the wall to the lower left of the tapestry?
Yes.
And do you see the bed that we saw in the collective exhibit just a moment ago, where item 11 was?
Yes.
Orient the jury to that.
As far as the headboard is up here on this wall.
Okay. So if where that wall is the north wall, what wall would you call the one with the tapestry on it?
The east wall.
The east wall. What is adjacent to the bed along the corner where the east wall intersects the north wall?
The nightstand.
I'm showing you what's been admitted into evidence as Exhibit 74. You see that?
Yes.
I'm now showing you what's been admitted into evidence, ma'am, as Exhibit 72. Okay. Particularly, I'd like to draw your attention to the intersection of the east wall with, I guess, the south wall. So you see that right there?
Yes.
Where would the south wall be for the jury?
Right here.
Okay, so where the blinds are, the vertical blinds?
Correct.
Okay, where there's an electrical outlet?
Yes.
Now, when you're conducting your initial walkthrough, did you notice those marks towards the floor?
We did not know.
What would those marks be indicative of in your training and experience?
There could be one.
Does call for opinion and speculation.
Speculation.
Yes.
You might think of that.
Yes, Your Honor, it's within the scope of everyday observation and common sense. Some kind of marks are
So it's not about what the stuff's in the carpet, it's just the indentations in the carpet.
yes, that there's not a city.
Very approach. Yes.
I don't know what those could be. As a guy, though, you might know. What do you guys think they are? They're really, I mean, they're faint, but they're visible. I mean, it looks like he had something sitting there. Maybe that's where the suitcase was put while he was cleaning up. Is that what they're thinking? I wish I could read lips. Man, Ada K can read lips. I bet she probably doesn't fast forward through sidebars. I bet she can read the judge's lips and can tell her viewers what's going on. And then I bet she gets mad when the camera goes off the judge when she's trying to read his lips. I'm gonna have to ask her about that.
Man, what do those lines on the carpet indicate to you?
They do look like indentions in the carpet where furniture could have been prior.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wait, I'm gonna rewind that a little bit. She has a soft voice.
In addition to the collection of the items that we have seen in various collective exhibits with evidence markers, specifically collection exhibit showing close-up of the knife, number 6 for the record. Did you place additional evidence markers, 12, 13, 14, 15, at this crime scene?
No,
Why is that, ma'am?
we don't normally do that. Anything we collect after the initial is discovered during the search, or when additional information is gathered,
I missed it.
and we don't necessarily mark them with evidence markers.
So did you collect additional items of evidence labeled 12 and higher from Mr. Chen's?
Okay. Somebody Google what kind of heckin' knife is that? What are those things in the blade of that knife? That's a funky looking knife. That doesn't even look like it would cut butter.
Yes,
But we don't have any pictures with little evidence markers.
correct.
Additional items that you collected, like the swabs, do you mark them in any particular manner?
If we don't use evidence markers, we may document it with scale tape, or we could document it with just photos.
Okay. I'm showing you what's been marked for identification is Exhibit 149, specifically items 1 to 13. You familiarize yourself with those.
Okay.
What are those items?
There are photographs of suspected blood.
Are they marked in the manner that you indicated? indicated with,
Yes.
Ken?
So moved.
Published.
Yes, sir.
Now, in this case, ma'am, I'm showing you collective exhibit 149-1. Can you point out the scale tape for the jury?
This is the scale tape right here.
What's the yellow on what?
It's just another measure from the ceiling or from the floor.
Ma'am, it appears as though one of the scales is bigger than the other. Can you explain that?
So this one is in inches, and this one
When you
is,
say this one, which
the
one are you
yellow
talking
one,
about? The yellow one is in inches,
yes,
and what's the white one?
I believe centimeters.
Centimeters, okay. And I see something right below the centimeter scale, and I'll zoom in for the jury. There's like a marking, dark marking in the center. What's that?
I believe that's the letter A.
Okay. In this case, did you mark the, I guess, the blood transfers and blood swipes that we see on the screen?
Yes,
Letters?
Yes,
Okay. Did you collect a sample from the light switch that we see here as A?
I believe so, but I would have to check the evidence report.
Okay.
I've collected several blood swabs.
All right. Did you collect a blood swab from the bedroom light switch?
Yes, I believe so.
And if that was the first blood swab, would that be indicated with a particular letter?
Not necessarily on the, it would be A.
It'd be A.
Yes.
Okay. Now showing you collective 2. I'm sorry, 149, page 2. Specifically, right there. Can you describe what we're looking at to the jury?
There appears to be another blood transfer.
On what surface?
The door frame.
What is a blood transfer while we're talking about that?
It's just any time blood is transferred from one surface to another.
Okay. And where is this in the apartment?
It's the door going into the bedroom from the bathroom.
Would that be shown as, I believe, 13 on the crime scene diagram?
Yes.
Is that a close-up of the same blood transfer?
Yes.
And for the record, 149.3. Were there blood transfers adjacent to the bed that you recall?
Yes, there was one just inside the doorway of the bedroom.
I'm now showing you 149.4. It's kind of a blurry photograph, so we'll go on.
It is a blood stain.
Blood stain. Would you call that a transfer as well?
It could possibly be a transfer, but looks more like a drop.
A drop.
Looks like a drip to me.
And why would you say it looks more like a drop than a transfer?
It doesn't look like a smear or a swipe.
Going back to 149.1, how would you describe that?
That is more of a smear or a swipe.
So when we go back to 149.5, that looks like what you described as a drop.
Where blood could have been dropped from a higher point.
Pooled on the molding.
Yes.
Thank you. And would that be what we see as item 14?
Yes.
Moving on, where are we now standing? Where is this photograph taken?
Standing in the bathroom and shooting towards the bedroom.
For the record, Judge, this is 149.6. I'm going to show you 149.7. How would you describe the substance that we see there next to the letter D?
It's a blood stain, possibly a transfer.
Is that taken at marker 15 on the crime scene diagram?
Yes.
149-8. What is this?
That is the bathroom door.
Leading from where to where?
This is the kitchen area, and this is the bathroom, so kitchen.
So this is the door from the bathroom to the kitchen.
Correct.
Showing you 149-9. You see that?
Yes,
Could you describe to the jury what that is?
that's also a blood stain, possibly a transfer.
Did you search that door for other blood stains?
Yes, please, so.
Would that be shown as number 16 on the diagram?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Okay. Now, that first one that we just looked at just a moment ago in 149-9 was immediately below the locking mechanism. Is there another blood transfer that you found on the door?
There was this one here, and there was also one higher.
149-11, is that a close-up of the one that you said was up higher?
Yes,
Do you recall finding any other blood transfers on the door?
not that I recall.
Going now to 149-12. What are we looking at with this?
This is the bathroom area, that's the kitchen area, and that's the bathroom vanity, and that's the trim for the bathroom door.
Showing you 141-13. What do we see there?
Blood stain, possibly a blood drop.
And would that be at evidence marker 18?
Yes,
Thank you. After you collected samples of the substances that we see in requested exhibit 149, did you continue your search?
yes.
Now showing you
Yours is about 10:30. We'll take a mid-morning break, probably about 15 minutes or so.
Then I'm handing you what's going to be marked for identification purposes as 150, collective 1 through 18. Familiarize yourself with those.
Anybody wants to stand and stretch while we're just looking at pictures, feel free to do so.
What's shown in those photographs, ma'am?
These are additional photographs taken during the search process of items of potential evidence.
Do they fairly and accurately depict what you observed?
Yes.
Where I moved into evidence, what exhibit 150?
Was it 1 through?
1 through 18. I see a green hat in this photograph, or maybe it's gray. Do you see that?
Yes.
And this is 151. Was there anything of evidentiary value on that?
There was a red stain on it, so we collected it.
That red stain, is it shown in 152?
Yes.
And for the record, going back to 1, would this be in between the bed and the east wall?
Correct.
(150-3). What are we looking at here?
I believe these were sweatpants that were located inside the washer machine.
Showing you what's been admitted into evidence as 150-4. Now, could you please point out to the jury where the sweatpants are in this photograph?
Yes, they're right here with the red stain.
There's a white object with what appears to be an ear behind the gray sweatpants with the red stain. What is that?
That would be investigator Brown.
One of the crime scene investigators
Yes.
just holding up the pants
Correct.
for a clear photograph.
Yes.
In addition to continuing to process the crime scene, did you find any glass?
Yes.
Any of you has been marked for identification purposes as Exhibit 151. You recognize this item?
Yes.
What is that item?
They are glass fragments.
Where were these glass fragments found?
They were located kind of between item number 2 and 4. I actually didn't notice them until I was trying to document a blood stain on the floor and using oblique lighting. That's when I noticed the glass fragments.
What do you mean by oblique lighting?
Just lighting from different angles.
So you used a different angle of light, and did you observe like a glint of glass?
Correct, and they were very small,
Very small.
very small.
Did you collect them?
Yes,
Did you collect all the glass that you could observe?
yes, so yes.
What do you have in your hand?
Glass fragments,
All the glass that you could find in the crime scene?
yes.
And specifically, what's the item number?
Item 22,
Which using the crime scene diagram, where would that have been located?
the kitchen peninsula,
So, right here, front point.
yes.
There's a pair of gloves there, man, and I have a pair of scissors. If I could ask you to glove up and empty the contents like that. those the fragments you collected from the apartment?
Yes.
All right, move to admit into evidence item 151.
So then, you don't object? No, I just admit this, you have an objection to it yet. No. I don't have to admit this if you have an objection to it. Point. I just want to see it. The addition. To 151.
Can I get you to kind of fold up the sides to make like a little mold for us?
Hold up. Is he fixing to walk that across the courtroom to the other attorney? You're going to be losing evidence on the floor. Make him walk over there. What the fudge? Oh.
Those are the fragments?
Yes,
Any clue what that came from?
I do not.
Are they,
It's glass fragments.
you try them as large?
We had to see that.
No, they were very small.
Did you find, I guess, the stem of a wine glass?
No.
Is this a stem of a wine glass?
Objection. He already asked an answer. He asked if she knew what it was, and he said that.
Seems like it's calling for an opinion. I think the size of those fragments being so small would be very speculative. She could guess what it was unless she knows. You have to let them, that's this point. That's this thing.
Thank you. Jane, would you mind placing those back in?
Why are we playing with teeny tiny pieces of glass? How you can't tell what they came from.
As part of your search of Mr. Chen's apartment, did you have an opportunity to locate a gray hoodie?
Yes,
Where was that gray hoodie located?
I believe it was, either on the bed, and then it made its way to the floor. A lot of times we get additional information while we're processing the scene, and we may not know exactly what we're looking for. And then we get additional information from the detectives. But I believe this gray hoodie that I collected was originally on the bed. It may have been moved during the search, and then we got information about collecting a gray hoodie. So we would have collected it. It may not have been in its original location. Regardless, it was inside Jason Chen's bedroom.
Okay. Now handed you the marked for identification purposes as exhibit 152. Recognize the mark for identification is 152.
Yes, it's the gray hoodie.
That you collected from Mr. Chen's apartment.
Correct.
That I would move to admit into evidence. Gray hoodie.
So 152.
And would you mind opening? That's it. think we're hearing from Dan.
Okay, if I stand.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, this is marked on the packaging as Exhibit 42. Where was this gray hooded sweatshirt collected from on the crime scene diary?
It showed it was on the bedroom floor.
Okay. And specifically, where on the diagram?
Right on the right-hand side, near the top.
So right there, number 42?
Yes.
I'm now showing the jury, if I can have DVD judge. Now showing the jury Exhibit 65 already in evidence. The gray hoodie that you have in your hand, is that the gray hoodie or the gray object that we see on the floor adjacent to the, I guess, the armoire cabinet?
Honestly, I do not believe that is this.
Oh, it's a different gray hoodie?
Yes. I believe this one was originally on the bed, so it was moved during the search. And we got requested to collect the gray hoodie, and at that time it was been on the floor for the bed.
So, but it did come from Mr. Chen's bedroom?
Yes.
At 110 Tremont Street?
Yes.
Apartment 210. Thanks, ma'am. You can place that back in back. Ma'am, we also have what we marked for identification as Exhibit 153. This side. You recognize it?
Yes.
What is this item?
It's a gray sweatshirt.
Does it have a brand associated with it?
I believe it's J. Crew.
And where was this collected inside Mr. Chen's apartment?
Lead investigator Booker collected this. It was in the bedroom.
And specifically which item? Number 45?
Yes.
Okay. Which would be in the same area?
Yes.
Okay.
Originally, I believe this was probably in the closet hanging up.
Originally the closet hanging. Collected from Mr. Chen's apartment during the search warrant?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move into 53. So, I publish the jury by opening the exhibit.
Yes, sir.
If you could open the exhibit, ma'am. Turn it around the other direction. Ma'am, is there a zipper down the front?
Yes.
Does the zipper run all the way?
No.
Is it what we would call I guess a quarter zip?
Yes.
Is it in fact a J. Crew hoodie? or not hoodie, sweatshirt.
The investigator Booker selected this. Well, then I'm not sure.
Thank you. Place back in the bag. In addition to searching the interior of the apartment at 110 Tremont Street, did you search the exterior?
Yes.
Specifically, ma'am, did you search a dumpster area?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been admitted into evidence as collected exhibit 83-1. Are you familiar with this location?
Yes.
What is that location?
It's the apartment complex dumpster.
Going on to the next picture in that collective exhibit 183-2. Is that the condition of the inside of that dumpster enclosure as you found it on the day you executed the search warrant with Investigator Crawford?
Yes.
And 183-3, 183-4. Ma'am, there's a question about what the bluish item is that's peeking out from under the blue jeans. Can you identify that for us?
It looks like maybe vent air freshener for vehicle.
Zooming back out, did you collect any of the items shown inside collective exhibit 183-4?
Yes, I collected the blue jeans, the underwear, the sanitary pad, and a pair of white shoes.
Ma'am, I'm handing you what's going to be marked for identification as 154. You recognize this?
Yes, the underwear collected outside the dumpster.
Would you please point out to the jury where that is in the photograph?
Right here.
Thank you, ma'am. I move to admit 154 into evidence.
So moved.
And it was marked for identification as 155.
This is the sanitary pad that was located outside the dumpster. Right here.
Move to admit into evidence, and that's the same one? Move to admit 155.
So moved.
This is 156 for identification. You identify that for the jury?
Pair of blue jeans.
Shown in that picture.
Yes.
Move to admit into evidence item number 156, the blue jeans. Thank you, Ron. Finally, the marked for identification is 157. Can you identify that for the jury?
A pair of white tennis shoes. I believe they were Vans. Right here.
Left and right?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Move to admit into evidence 157 white tennis shoes.
So moved.
I think this would be good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not quite a mid-morning break, it's a late morning break. We're going to take one, 5 minutes to 11. We'll be back at 5 minutes after 11. If you want more time, we can go into 12:30 right now. You specialize in more officer, don't you?
Try not to.
Well, they're standing. I thought they were standing for the jury, but there's no sound. Oh, okay. Here we go.
I know it might seem a big hurdle to bring you to a new city and you're just not sitting in your own bed. It's the second day, bring you a little early, you then dim the lights in the morning. But I appreciate you all staying attentive. I think we'll go practice about another hour or so, then break for lunch. Whenever the state has a stop. John Wilson, thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, remind the jury, what day did you go to 110 Fremont Street, Apartment 210 for the execution of the search warrant?
It's notified on 11/27. I think I actually arrived around midnight on 11/28.
Did you have an occasion to return to that location later?
Yes,
Do you recall what day that was?
I'm not sure.
Was it many months later?
Yes,
Who did you go with?
went with investigator Curtis.
Did you meet anyone else at the apartment?
I believe Detective Coffin.
What was the condition of the apartment when you returned to it that second time?
It looked like they were in the middle of renovating the apartment. They had torn up a lot of the carpet, a lot of the flooring, the tile flooring. So they were renovating the apartment.
And what was the purpose of your going to that location a second time during that tearing the apartment up process?
During the renovation, the workers discovered, I believe what they thought was a large pool of suspected blood.
So what was your role in going to that location that second time?
To photograph the items and to collect them.
Now, I'm showing you what's been admitted into evidence already, as exhibit 127-1. Did you take this photograph?
Yes,
What does it show?
that shows the bedroom,
And what room were you standing in when you took that photograph?
bathroom.
I'm now showing you 127-2. What are we looking at here now?
Once they pulled up the carpet, underneath those reddish brown stains, that was on the original scene where the bed was located.
Now, when you were in 110 Tremont Street, apartment 210, back at the execution of the search warrant in November of 22, was this area that you see the carpet in covered by anything?
I used the bed was there.
Where would the nightstand have been?
Would have been in this corner here.
So orienting ourselves, the north wall that you described earlier would be where?
Right here,
And the east wall?
right here.
And where would that tapestry have been?
It would have been on this wall.
The east wall?
Correct.
So kind of up to the right and above from what we can see on the projector right now?
Yes.
I'd like to have you put on close preparation. Thanks. There, I'm sorry. I see a rectangular object in this photograph. It's kind of outlined blue, if you will. What is that? Ma'am, if I could ask you to step down off the bench and take a look at what I have right here. You recognize that object, ma'am?
Yes, a large section of carpet. brown patty.
Is it the same item we see in 127-2?
Yes.
Was it open? Oh, I'm sorry. And that's what you collected on the day you returned with Detective Crawford to the day?
Yes.
The same
January
day,
5th.
the same day that that photograph was taken?
Right.
Your Honor, at this time, I would move to admit into evidence item 158, carpet.
So then, if you're in the back row, stand, see it's better.
We saw the pictures. Her mom's still in court.
While it's happening, it's a good time to remind jurors that all exhibits will go back with you if you feel the need to examine this. Some of this is biohazard, so you need gloves, and perhaps in course that may be important.
Showing the jury what's been admitted into evidence is 127. Is that stain that the jury can see in the physical evidence sitting in front of them?
Yes.
So as in Mr. Chen's apartment, what's closest to the jury, the flat or fairly straight edge, it's not ragged, is up against the north wall.
You're still free to stand up.
Correct.
And the stain would have run from the north wall back towards the east wall. I'm sorry, back towards the south wall. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now showing you 127-4. Is it the photograph of the same piece of carpet that we have in evidence right here?
Yes.
What are the yellow and black item on the left-hand side of this photograph?
Scale tape.
What's the white line running along the bottom of the carpet in 127-4?
That's the tape measure.
Are these in centimeters or inches?
Inches.
So ma'am, could you tell the jury the approximate size of the stain on the carpet that we see in 127-4 and on the ground?
Approximately 5 feet by 32 inches.
32 inches by 5 feet.
Yes.
So that includes a stain that's, I guess, at least
Maybe a little more than 5 feet.
a little bit more than 5 feet. So a stain, there's a separation between the two stains. What kind of gap are we looking at between stain that we see on the right side of the carpet in 127.4 and the very large stain.
Maybe, approximately 6 inches.
About 6 inches. So the main stain would be approximately what by what?
Maybe 3.5 by 32, 3.5 feet by 32 inches.
Ma'am, are you aware of a suitcase having been collected in this case?
Yes.
You had an opportunity to examine that suitcase that was collected in this case?
Minimally,
Minimally?
yes.
In addition to collecting the carpet, did you take swabs of anything?
Before.
Showing you 127-5. Do you see the area that you swabbed in these photographs?
I'd have to check my evidence report, but I believe it was these areas right here.
What areas? I'm sorry. The stains on the actual wooden subfloor.
Yes, I'd have to refer to the evidence report to be certain.
Did that help refresh your recollection
Yes. Or the item itself.
for the item itself? Oh, okay.
Yes, they were collected from the sub.
Is your recollection refreshed, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Where were the swabs collected?
From the subfloor.
Those two stains that we see in 127-5. Those seem silly, but I'm handing you what's been marked for identification as 159 and 160. You recognize these items?
Yes, they're the swab samples I collected from the bedroom, under the carpet on the subfloor.
Did we see in exhibit 127-5?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move to admit into evidence item 159, swab from bedroom under carpet on subfloor, exhibit 160, swab bedroom under carpet subfloor. Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, you'd agree that all of the items that we've just admitted into evidence, the swabs and the carpet, came from a single room.
Correct.
Was any evidence collected from another room or connected with another room in the apartment, I should say?
I believe I also collected the tile backer board, which would have been located in the bathroom under the floor tile.
I'm showing you what's been admitted into evidence as exhibit 127-7. You recognize the item in that photograph?
Yes.
You know. And I'm going to display to you what's been marked for identification as exhibit 161. You recognize this?
Yes.
Or maybe hold my what is it
It's the tile backer board.
that you collected from Mr. Chen's apartment
Yes.
when you went back with Detective Crawford as it was being renovated?
Yes.
Is it the same item that we see up there?
Yes, that's correct.
Move to admit into evidence 161 back forward.
Movement.
Ma'am, are you familiar with the term buccal swab or buccal swab? That some people might say?
Buccal swab.
It's a DNA swab collected from an individual, from the mouth, the cheeks, inside of the cheeks.
How does one collect one of those?
Kind of similar to the way we collect blood swabs, we use a sterile, cotton swab. Only difference in this case, we don't wet water swabs. We'll rub the inside of the cheek of the individual, both sides of the cheeks, inside.
In this case, did you have an opportunity to collect one of those buccal swabs from somebody?
Yes,
Do you recall who that individual was, ma'am?
Jason Chen.
He's just going to say it both ways, just in case.
What would be the purpose of collecting a DNA swab from Mr. Chen?
To make standard for comparison purposes for forensic value.
Is that what the DEI requires to be able to conduct a comparison analysis between the two?
They like the buccal swabs and the blood spot card.
I'm handing you as the marked for identification purposes as Exhibit 162. Seen that before?
Yes,
What is it?
it's the buccal swab I collected from Jason Chen.
That is swab, buccal swab. You collected that sample, genetic material here in the porcelain?
Yes,
Who is that?
straight ahead in the dark blue suit with the light blue shirt.
Reverend What Identification Officer. How long in total did you spend at 110 Tremont Street?
I believe I got there midnight and I left around 11 a.m. the next day.
11 a.m. the next day, approximately 12 hours. As part of that process of examining and looking for evidence, did you use a substance called Blue Star?
Yes,
You've heard of the name luminol, is that the same thing as Blue Star?
it's similar.
Similar, is there a difference?
That I'm not sure.
Were you present during the application of the Blue Star substance at Mr. Chen's apartment at the execution of the search warrant? Ma'am, I'm showing you. Exhibit 29. Sure you got to see it on the high def television. Do you recognize that application?
Yes,
Where is that location?
latest, the bathroom kitchen area. More specific to bathroom area.
And the Blue Star reaction is where?
All this glowing material here.
How many times would you estimate that you have either yourself applied or watched someone else apply Blue Star?
I would guess maybe 10, 15 times.
Are all Blue Star reactions created equal? What are the differences?
For a positive reaction, to say that it's more than likely blood would be a far more intense and longer duration. If it was what we consider a false positive, possibly cleaning materials or other substances, the duration would be very quick and not as bright.
How would you describe the Blue Star reaction that you yourself observed inside Mr. Chen's apartment?
Very intense and long duration. It was probably the most I've ever seen on a reaction with Blue Star on a crime scene.
of those 10 to 15 times that you've seen it done?
Yes.
Is there, now showing you exhibit 30. I'm going to zoom in. Is there a strong blue star reaction in the kitchen?
Yes.
Strong blue star reaction in the bathroom?
Yes.
Is there a strong blue star reaction in the bedroom?
Yes.
Exhibit 31. What part of the apartment are you looking at?
This is the bedroom door, so we were standing inside the bedroom shooting for the living room.
Thank you, ma'am. After you left 110 Tremont Street, where did you go?
So I went back to the crime scene office.
To what place?
I believe I have packaged and sealed the evidence I had collected and downloaded my photographs.
Is that when you started ascribing specific numbers to the property items?
Yes.
So the packaging that we see here today is the packaging that you originally packaged.
Yes.
Did you submit those items to the property room?
Not on that date,
Where did you keep them? In the intern.
in the evidence vault.
So you have your own locker. Is it secured?
Yes.
Inside a vault.
Yes.
Is the vault secure?
Yes.
And is the vault inside another structure?
It's inside the crime scene office, the crime scene building, limited access, which the only people that have access to the crime scene vault are crime scene investigators.
So if someone were to come in off the street, could they just walk into the crime scene office?
No.
Is it also locked?
Yes.
So you place the evidence inside a locker, inside a vault, inside an office, all locked.
What would fit inside the locker, yes.
Okay. What would fit inside the locker? Some items such as for instance, the carpet, would that fit in your locker?
No.
Okay. But other smaller items such as buccal swab that we see here in 162, would that fit in your locker?
Yes. If it would physically fit in the locker, we would utilize the locker.
And after you did all of that, what was the next thing you did?
I believe I was called the next day around 2 p.m. to respond to 900 Mountain Creek Road.
How long did it take for you to process all the evidence that you collected at Mr. Chen's apartment, do the paperwork, those forms, upon return to the office?
I think I left around 2:30 in the afternoon.
And you were called back in when?
It was 2 o'clock the next day.
The next day. So you had 12 hours off. Or 24 hours off, I'm sorry.
I know I worked like 51 hours in those 3 days.
So over the course of 3 days, you worked a grand total of 51 hours. What was the next location that you responded to?
900 Mountain Creek Road.
What was the purpose of going to 900 Mountain Creek Road?
They had requested crime scene to respond to the location and coordinate the search of the 2 large dumpsters.
What were you looking for at 900 Mountain Creek Road?
Anything that may have been discarded by Jason Chen.
Y'all struck out at 900 Mountain Creek Road, is that fair?
Correct.
Didn't find it.
Correct.
So what did you do next?
Then I went to Nolensville Police Department to help in the execution of the search warrant.
You look at all the date that happened?
I believe it was, I'm not sure, 29th or 30th.
29th. Were you working on the 29th?
Yes.
What services were required of you to respond for the execution of a search warrant at the Owensville Police Department. What are you gonna do?
Process the scene.
Do you know what scene you're going to?
The parents' house of Jason Chen.
Is that located at 1943 Ashburn Court
Yes,
in the city of Owensville,
yes.
Williamson County?
If you say so, yes.
Okay. So, during your search of the residence at 1943 Ashburn Court, did you process that scene in a similar manner that you did 110 Tremont Street?
Correct. Investigator Curtis and I conducted a walkthrough of the scene. I took digital photographs of the scene and also took video of the scene.
Did you find anything particularly noteworthy during your search of 1943 Ashburn Court?
Objection. Call. Cause for speculation, anything interesting. Not later on that.
Semantics.
In the upstairs bedroom, located a laptop on desk area, laptop, some handwritten notes, eyeglasses, and a wallet belonging to Jason Chen.
Yeah, I'm showing you it's been admitted into evidence. This is 94, the trial. You recognize that?
Yes,
You look at it.
it's the desk area in the upstairs bedroom.
And you mentioned handwritten notes. Where would those be located?
When they were here and also when the post-its
Mention the wallet. Where's that?
were there.
The laptop. Did y'all want those glasses?
I don't think so. I don't believe so.
Did you collect the notes?
Yes.
You also mentioned with the bedroom. I'm going to show you another exhibit. Exhibit 9. Do you recognize that location?
Yes, that's the same bedroom.
And you can see the chair that we saw in the preceding photograph with laptop computer in exhibit 93.
Yes.
It's right there on the right-hand side next to the door. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you find anything of interest inside the red box that we see here in exhibit 9?
Yes, there's a cell phone inside the box.
And I'm showing you what has been admitted into evidence as exhibit 91. Point out that cell phone in this photograph.
Right here.
And the next exhibit 92. I'm handing you what's been marked for identification purposes as 163. You recognize that?
Yes, it's the Apple iPhone I collected.
So that's the photo from 1943 Ashburn Court that you
Yes.
hold in your hand right now.
Yes.
Move to admit it.
Why is there so much jewelry in there?
Thank you. Did you find anything in another bedroom that was collected?
Yes, in downstairs bedroom, I believe I collected a backpack and clothing items.
Showing you it's been admitted into evidence as exhibit 108. You recognize the item shown in that photograph?
Yes, backpack. I believe the clothing items came out of the laundry basket.
identification as 164. Could you take a moment to familiarize yourself with that collected exhibit? What do the items in 164, 1 through 5 show?
They show the backpack and the contents inside the backpack
Where was this analysis done?
in the crime scene office.
Back in Chattanooga?
Yes,
Did it fairly and accurately show the contents of the backpack shown in Exhibit 108?
yes.
Move to evidence 164, pages 1 to 5. So moved. Thank you, Your Honor. May I please publish to the judge? So once you got back to the crime scene office, I'm showing you the first page in that collected exhibit. Orient us in what we're looking at.
It's just a close-up of the backpack.
And to the right-hand side, there's a black object like that.
Over here,
Yes, no, above.
a shirt, t-shirt, muscle tee.
No, I'm sorry. Right-hand side, above the black and white.
Oh, an umbrella.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. And on the left, what's that?
A black t-shirt.
Okay. I'm now showing you the second page of the collected exhibit. What are these?
It's the same black shirt and then other items that were inside the backpack.
And the three.
It's a close-up of the receipts and other papers that were found inside the backpack.
Are there any names connected with those items?
I believe they had Jason Chen's name on some of those items.
Okay. And four of the collected exhibit.
A close-up of additional items that were inside the backpack.
And five.
Pretty much overall of all the items that were inside the backpack.
Thank you. Ma'am, I'm handing you now what's remarked for identification as 165. You recognize what's remarked for identification as 165.
Is this the black backpack?
Does it include the contents that you see laid out on the screen here?
Not all the contents.
Not all the contents. Most of the contents?
Correct.
Okay. But these are the things that you collected from 1943 Ashford Court.
Yes.
Are within evidence 165. I'm saying not all the contents.
Some things are packaged different. They may contain evidentiary value. We want to separate it that way. If they have to be analyzed, they don't have to pull out the whole backpack, but just certain items.
Okay. I'll draw your attention to the lower right-hand corner of this photograph. Black rectangle sitting there, right next to a $5 bill and some change in a bobby pin. What is that out there?
Eyeglass case.
What's inside the eyeglass case?
A SIM card from a phone.
Are there any glasses in there?
No.
Pin has been marked for identification as 166. Recognize that?
That's a cell phone memory card. 5G was Verizon. And it was inside the backpack, inside the eyeglass case.
screen?
Yes.
I'll move to admit into evidence 166. Now, why would this be packaged separate and apart from everything else?
Because it could have evidentiary value, it would, could be, processed by digital forensic or PBI or.
Now, I get you to open this up. We have a document.
What happened to the sound? Are they at Cycler again? Sorry, my aunt sent me a crochet pattern and I got a little distracted.
Sir?
Yeah.
Just tucked in the corner.
I'm trying to find it there. It's a small little thing.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow. Would you mind putting that on the document projector for me? May she step down, Judge? Okay, it's small. It's a miss. Pretty out of swear, Judge. No, just put it in the middle. Just set it up. Okay. Wow. And just so we're clear, I'm gonna put put this Sharpie down. Tip of the Sharpie. Pretty small. How did you find that little thing inside the glasses case?
I just thoroughly search anything I collect and what's inside the eyeglass case, and I think it was black inside.
So it wasn't a white in color on a light in color like the inside of the
Right.
envelope that we were digging through just a second ago?
Right.
Okay. You face it. And when you do, I'd ask you to familiarize yourself with what's going to be marked as collective exhibit 167, 1 and 2. Okay? you have an opportunity to familiarize yourself with that collective exhibit?
Yes.
What is it?
Photograph of the evidence bag that the memory card was sealed in, and a photo of the memory card,
On the second page?
photo of the memory card.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to move to the evidence. This is 712. Now, ma'am, the SIM card itself, this small little piece of plastic that we have sitting on the document projector,
Does it have serial numbers on it or any numbers?
Yes, it appears to have numbers on it.
Okay, and the numbers of the photographs, and they match the numbers on the SIM cards you have?
Yes.
Put it back in there. Put that back inside there. We don't want to lose it. Now, ma'am, it looks like you have different colored tape on this bag. Specifically, there's a blue set of tape that you see up here at the top, and what I would describe as green or teal on the bottom of the bag. Is there a particular significance to the different colors of tape used on items of evidence?
The blue crime scene tape, crime scene.
That would be y'all's tape? So crime scene, CSU, that's their crime scene unit?
Yes.
Okay, so that's your tape. What about the green tape?
I believe that's digital forensic unit.
So if we see green tape on a item of evidence such as the SIM card, would that indicate that someone from that division has resealed the bag?
Yes.
We're now going to show you through the projector 163, which was admitted into evidence as the cell phone. Does it also have the, well,
Yes.
indicating what to you in your training experience?
They had checked out the item and processed it.
You also mentioned a wallet. And you showed it to us in that collective exhibit that we looked at, or I'm sorry, in the prior admitted evidence. Did you go back to the police department and, similar to the backpack, lay things out for examination?
Yes, I believe so.
Name I'm handing you has been marked for identification as Exhibit 168.
It's a gray wallet.
You know who that wallet belonged to based on your examination of the contents?
Jason Chen.
And that's the same wallet that was seized from the upstairs bedroom of Mr. Chen's 1943 residence where he was.
Yes.
I believe the wallet was at, Mr. Honor. 68. Great. Okay. Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost noon, so we're going to take our lunch break at this point. Take about, Terry, can you approach the lunch? Yes, Judge. today. It was taking an hour and a half. So the parties can be back at 1:30. We'll resume the trial at 1:30.
1:30. I don't think. I don't think that we are that far behind. No. Okay. So, we will come back to this riveting testimony of evidence. Gotta have the boring with the exciting, though, right? Because they have to lay the foundation of who found the evidence, where it was, why it was collected, what was the importance, all that good garbage crap, right? So we will come back at 1:30. I'm gonna go rest because my back is killing me. I will promise to come back. If for some reason I don't, which I'm not planning on not coming back, but if for some reason I don't, Judy can text me and wake me up. Although I'm not sleepy. My back just hurts. I don't plan on falling asleep. But I'm going to go lay down and rest my back. So 1:30, be back, and we will continue with this riveting tale of all the evidence that was collected in this case. And I will see you guys then. Have a nice lunch, and be back at 1:30. Bye, guys.